Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Wichita Vice.
Hey,
what's going on?
Welcome back to all the nerds, all the moviegoers, all the comic book heroes. Let's go ahead and start it off with our guests here.
Jess coming at you.
Hey, it's Chris with a K.
It's straight from the Fortress of Solitude, the off-brand Superman, Marquez Eason.
I like that. Signed, sealed, delivered. All right. So, you guys, do not forget, we have also other shows. So, if you're a sports person, you know we have our Sports Fellas show. So, tune in to see who's winning or who you're picking in the NFL. Also, we will introduce again the Cutting Crew is coming back next month for another episode of that. So, stay tuned on that. And don't forget, we're also having our contest giveaway for the Matrix Resurrection, right? Resurrection?
Yes.
Resurrection.
Oh, man, that's going to be awesome.
Thank you. Sorry about the show the other day. I forgot what happened there. And also, we're going to also do a Spider-Man giveaway. So there's opportunity for 4 tickets in 1 month. All you have to do is like, subscribe, sign up, and then go from there. So real quick, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to our following sponsors. All right. So today we're going to talk about Marvel's The Eternals. So the movie came out back a couple weeks ago, November 5th. And so tune in to, if you want to get an insight about the show, follow us on our show at Silver Cosmos Movie Reviews. We did a quick analysis of the movie, kind of gave our thoughts. What was the stars that we gave away? It was overall.
So I was
2 and a 3.
it was 2 and a 3.
2.5 overall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But don't take our word for it. If you're going to go watch it, go watch it. Go take your date, go with some friends, go check it out. I mean, it's still an all right movie. So let's go ahead and talk about
too. You can go by yourself if you want to, right?
Oh, you're allowed to do that? Is that a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a thing.
You're gonna be that. You're gonna be that guy in that
Yeah.
corner,
Oh,
in
yeah.
that corner over there. It's like, what is he doing?
He must be single.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So, all right. Let's go. Let's start it off real quick. Okay. So, Marquez, what we know is that the Eternals was written by Jack Kirby,
Yes.
Volume 1, back in 1976. So, the Eternals were created by the Celestials.
Yes.
We also know was that their creation was made to protect and defend the human race against the deviants, because, if I'm not mistaken, Chris, the Eternals made
The Celestials made
the Eternals
Deviants as well.
and the Deviants as well. Okay. Also, we know the Deviants is the arch nemesis to the Eternals. So the
Yeah.
Eternals were also made genetically to enhance and help the human race in their technology, civilization, culture, and they were in disguise pretty much. So they were there through time. So let's go ahead and
I've kind of always seen it as like a angels demons type deal, like the Celestials created the good guys and the bad guys to create a balance.
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, there's a lot of religious overtones in the Eternals, so that's
Good
kind of how my allegory towards the deviants. Like the deviants lend themselves more towards monstrosities just because they have that desire to destroy things, and whereas the Eternals are a little more pretty and good and helpful to mankind. They try to help, give them technologies and
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember which iteration this was, but I remember the deviants, they feed on intelligent life. They were basically like a population control mechanic, and in the movie, the reason why they showed back up on Earth was because after Tony Stark, jeez, what is wrong?
snark.
Tony Stark snapped everything back into existence after Thanos snapped everything away. That's what brought their attention back to Earth. They wanted to. It's like, oh, there's an explosion of life. We have to. That's why they've returned in the movie. I forgot which book that was, and a lot of times Marvel, when it comes to stuff like this, they have a lot of continuity issues. One story you have characters doing things that are amazing. The next story, not so much.
Well, and there's not a lot of. I mean, there's I believe 7 or 8 maybe different volume runs of it.
Yeah.
And most of them are only a dozen issues roughly.
Yeah.
There's
12.
not a whole lot of extended background into most of the Eternal, and each one, they're far enough apart that each one was done by a totally different author
Yeah.
and their own take on it, even to the world building of where they came about from.
Okay, and also what I wanted. Okay, did you guys? Is it just me, or did anyone think it would have made a better series? I mean,
we actually
I
had a
just
discussion about that in our Silver Cosmos movie reviews.
Really?
So
Check
to you in the audience, if you want to know more in depth, go follow Silver Cosmos movie reviews. Yeah, this guy.
I think,
Well,
and
it's
I
just-
think when
I
we were
just-
talking about the Green Lanterns, we ran
Yeah.
into this kind of deal where it's like when you've got such a large group that you're dealing with, which the Eternals in the movie, it's what, 9 or 10, 11?
Yeah.
Just in that. And when you look in the comic books, I mean, you have various generations that add up to like 25 or 30 main Eternals characters. That's a lot to try to squeeze into a movie or two. Like,
and
Especially for 2.5 hours. I mean,
yeah, and that's another thing. It's like when you have multiple characters like that, a lot of the issue comes, getting them all enough screen time. To where it's equal and that, nobody's, because we all have our favorite Justice League or our favorite X-Men, our favorite Avenger, and giving them enough screen time to where it's not, we don't alienate anybody. It's like giving all your kids enough. Here's a toy for you.
it's
here's
got
a
to
toy
be
for you.
fair.
Yeah,
and that's why Disney did a good job. But Hawkeye's going to drop off I think this Wednesday, if
The
I'm not mistaken.
24th.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's going to have his own show, and like I said, it's kind of cool on our end that we're able to take a pool of these superheroes and villains, and we can go more in depth about them. So speaking of that, let's go ahead and dive in on the Eternal side. So first up we have is Icarus. So from what we know of Icarus, he's got superhuman strength. He can shoot ray beams out of his eyes. Wow. And
Okay.
he can regenerate. He's fast.
He can
Boy
fly.
can fly. He can fly. And he can teleport. So, Chris, based off what he can do, does he seem like another similar Superman to you?
I think it's a little bit of a spin. He's also kind of a de facto leader, isn't he? Of
Yeah.
the Earthbound, at least.
Yeah.
He's one of the older, I think.
He had the nickname Iceberg because he
Yeah.
resided in the cold parts of the earth.
Yeah.
in the movie.
So that's his nickname, Iceberg.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool character. Like I say, it is reminiscent of Superman. I couldn't help but think about Superman when I saw him shooting the beams. It's like, oh,
He reminded me of because
guys.
so for the audience, he plays in the one that portrays him in the movie. He's in Game of Thrones. Robb
Yeah.
Stark. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you could have done that against the Lannisters. Why couldn't you got
Yeah, just laser
Well,
beam the Lannisters.
and it's weird
Game of Thrones is over.
because it's my
yeah.
my understanding that in generally any of the Celestials have that power to shoot cosmic energy from their eyes and or hands.
Well,
Some of them focus more on the destructive power and the force and stuff, and I think Icarus is one that really focuses on his eye beams. Maybe he read some DC and was like, "Oh, that's the guy, man."
that would have been a nice play on.
And it's
See
kind
if
of.
they would've-
Did you see in his comic book back Jack Kirby when he made that when the staff there got together and made his the design? He had these kind of gold beams on his chest, and he was blue and red. I'm like, looks like Superman.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Superman. He looked like just flying around, eye beams everywhere. But now let's kind of turn it over to the movie, Jesse. See, Icarus, you could tell he was the dominant. He was the leader. And then as things were unveiled, spoiler alert for the people that have not seen Eternals.
Yeah.
Overall, it threw me off a little bit. I knew something was going on, but it threw me off that how in the comic book and the movie was different. And we discussed, Marquez and I, we discussed this before.
Yeah.
Remember, you guys, just to make sure you guys are clear on this. The MCU does not always follow the comic books, okay? Let's just get that established. I
Yeah.
know I hear it all the time. That didn't happen that way. No. In the MCU, they can turn it one way. When did you remember Blade hanging out with the Avengers?
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's stuff like that. So just take in consideration. If you want to dive in more in depth on it, hey, follow also Marvel Universe. There's a couple variety of YouTube channels that we follow, and then also just follow us. So, but back
Yeah.
to what I was asking you, Jesse. When you saw Icarus in display in the movie, did you like the way he was being portrayed?
I thought he was very stern fella. Seemed like he, you could tell that he was the head honcho of the group.
Or next to Ajax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ajax.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was the
yeah.
leader, but
Yeah,
he
was
seemed like
kind
he
of
was
the,
more like the
Yeah.
He was
behind
the
the scenes
popular.
kind of
He's
fella.
the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he'd be the captain. Yeah.
Or
team voted captain.
Field commander,
Right.
if you want to say.
Something,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He was.
I mean, I don't know, but
I'm
go ahead,
I
Chris.
was
I'm
just
sorry.
saying, I'm not the hugest fan of the actor that played Icarus. I think he's a little dry, in my opinion. He doesn't most of the time, but I didn't actually see this movie, so
Yeah,
Stop
Oh,
being jealous, Chris.
yeah. That's
He
not-
always had a serious look about him too.
Yeah,
in the
he's-
movie. He
he
was
He
always
just doesn't seem to have much range.
Is it because of his hair? Is it
It could
because
be.
he had better hair? Let's
It's
put it on the
because,
table.
he is, thought he's better than everybody else. I'm kidding. I have no idea.
Especially he had that swag walk going
Yeah.
in. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
so,
was-
so you're like that?
Yeah.
You're cool like that? He beat up on a deviant and he's just walking just like oh, just got out of the gym.
After the deviant slammed him down like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, I barely beat him, but I'm still a badass.
All right, so let's go
Yeah.
ahead and move on with the next character, Ajax. Now, in the movie, Ajax was portrayed by my lady, Salma Hayek, which she only got such a short amount of time. But in the
Yes.
comic books, Ajax is actually a guy.
Mhm.
So it was one of those things they switched it up, which I'm not complaining. It is what it is.
Not when it's Selma Hayek. I'm not complaining.
She is
Desperado
she
all the
is,
way.
She is irrelevant to this. So Salma Hayek's in
I
her
know.
own little world. So what's displayed here is Ajax has superhuman strength, energy blast, can fly, teleport, and as described, they all have almost the same powers. So, portrayed in the movie, we're going to say she because it's the movie. She was close to the Celestial, and I keep forgetting the name. What was the Celestial's name? Shiram, I think his name was the main Celestial.
The red one, right?
The red one that she was reporting
Oh, Ashram.
to. Yes.
Ashram.
Ashram.
Ashram. Yeah, Ashram the judge. Actually, yes, that's her. Yeah, he dubbed her the leader. in
Thank
the
you,
movie.
Marquez. See,
Yeah.
this is why I'm thankful I have someone that knows like to the T. I appreciate that, Marquez. I appreciate you.
Oh, of
But
course.
so, as I was saying, real quick, that she was instructed. She knew what was going on, and she didn't like the fact what was going to happen. So in the comic books, they still follow. They don't question. They don't
Yeah.
question the Celestials. They know very well they are a freckle of dust compared to this immense power that the Celestials are. But overall, in the movie, they portray her as like the motherhood. She is that leader, the friend, the confidant. And I felt Salma Hayek was portrayed very well in that movie. But this is the powers that she brings in. And she was close to Icarus as well.
Yeah.
So that's why in the movie, she confided in him and told him this was going on. So again, as we mentioned before, the spoiler alert, Ajax doesn't make it in the movie, but in the comic books, she's still there. She's
Unfortunately.
Yeah, she did have that maternal kind of instinct. You really did get a feeling that she was kind of like that concerned mother type of character. You know
Well,
what I mean?
and to be honest, in the movie, also spoiler alert, that they all did really like look up to her.
Yeah.
And you could tell when they would talk to her that they really wanted her opinion on what they should do next.
Yeah. They held her in really high esteem. And I thought that was a great cast, guys. That's another thing about this movie I did like. I did like the cast. I think that's, the everyone played their roles perfect. I know you said the Icarus, it was kind of dry, but, since I've never really seen Game of Thrones, not in its entirety, I have no frame of reference.
Yeah.
To,
No, I thought
that's the
all the
first time
other.
I saw.
I like all the other actors.
Except-
that are in it. I'm just not a fan of that.
He just
particular-
doesn't like him.
I've seen him in a few things, and he just doesn't. He's not in my opinion, a very good.
He's got
actor.
that. He's got that look like he got dumped by his girlfriend,
And I
and
think-
he's just mad.
I think if you've got, if you're leading a Marvel,
yeah.
I believe they
you've
call
gotta-
that resting
I mean,
bitch face.
you've got
But
Oscar winners next to you and Academy Award winners directing you. You've got to have someone that can
Fix
Yeah.
that.
really be like.
Yeah,
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. was a great lead.
Yeah, but
and
that's
he's
Robert
an
Downey
amazing
Jr.
actor.
Yeah, yeah.
That's.
I mean, that's
but
not
that's what
gonna-
you need to lead those types of roles. And yeah,
Oh, okay. I got something to say at the end of this about the post-credit scene. Okay, someone who I think will.
We'll get there. We'll get
Okay,
there.
okay.
So yeah, so
Yeah,
Ajax was
okay.
like I said, she was not portrayed long enough in that show, but it goes to show again, as we discussed, trying to cram everybody in at once. But Ajax was a unique character. So let's go ahead and move on. Next one we have Cersei. Cersei, same type of power, but she took on a leadership role after Ajax died by the Deviants in the movie. But in this one here, again, she has superhuman strengths. She can break down molecular manipulation. She has I can't even talk it. Telepathy. There we go, guys. And also flight and telekinesis. So she was portrayed by Gemma Chan. And she's a great actress. I followed her in the show Humans. So she's one of those unique characters. Cersei here, she and Icarus has a lot of history. So in the movie, it was 5,000 years, but in the comic books, they've been knowing each other for 1,000,000 years. They're old. They are old. So now, Marquez, I'm going to ask you real quick. We know that Kit Harington's character, he's going to be the Black Knight.
Yes.
So in the comic books, did she give him the ebony blade, or that's an MCU kind of deal?
I believe it was a totally separate deal. I mean, this blade, I'm not sure how they're going to portray it in the movie, but it gives him access to different energies from other, from surrounding universes. I believe the Black Knight, his sword and a lot of his technology is otherworldly, even alien in some respects. But they never really went into the origin in the movie. We just saw the post-credit scene.
I wonder if they're going to have a connection with Shang-Chi's rings.
See, now that's what I was thinking.
Because those, at the end of that one, they were testing. Oh, this is older than the Earth is.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing right now.
And well, we know right now that Marvel is entering. We are already in phase 4 already.
They're planning
Yeah,
a full galaxy enter the galaxy in space.
And that's one of the things I love about the Marvel universe, as opposed to the DC, is that the cosmic landscape it's
much more fleshed out.
way much more fleshed out. The only ones in the DC universe that are on the cosmic level are the Lanterns.
Right.
That's pretty much it. And I'm looking forward to seeing characters like Galactus. After seeing Arishem, the scale of them and stuff like that, what they could do with Silver Surfer and Galactus. Just
Silver Surfer would be a good one.
He's one of my favorite
me
Marvel
too.
heroes.
Yeah.
Well,
Silver
if
Surfer.
they can ever get the Fantastic Four right, maybe.
They're gonna get it right this time.
I probably won't watch it.
There's
I've enjoyed it, but
No, I think
not
they're
like-
going to get it right. They're going to get it right this time. Hey, no fist pump here. No, I condone that. No, here's the thing. We don't want to get off subject too much.
Okay,
but all I'm
okay,
just going to
but-
say is that Marvel already done their history with how they've done this Fantastic Four.
Okay.
They've got to get it right this time. It has to be done right so they can.
How many have they
mission.
made?
3.
They're like the fourth time will work.
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
Is that
I'm a
why
believer.
for Fantastic
Time's a
Four?
charm.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four. So the fourth time they ought to poke fun at that. They need to have Ryan Reynolds show up and kind of
Dude,
hint to that or something like that. Break a fourth. Do the
Hey,
fourth
what are you
wall
guys
thing.
doing here?
or something.
So some
Fourth time's a
around
charm.
something
Yeah.
around there. But one of the things though in the story of the comic book and the movie, the whole love scene between Icarus and Cersei, I get it. They've known each other for a long time. In the comic books, everyone has their own identity and they're going
Yeah.
forward to their objectives. The movie, it just seemed like they were pounding on that whole I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out. I mean, it's just come on, man. Let's get this story
Do you
rolling.
want to try it again?
Yeah.
After how many times? But anyway.
5,000 years in the movie.
Right. But all right, let's go ahead. Let's move on next to the next character. We got Kingo. Kingo is pretty unique. This was the comic relief character. I thought he was portrayed very well. We know in the comic books he has flight. He has superhuman strength. He also has energy projection. But in the comic books, he adopted a more of a samurai master swordsman type. But in the movie, he did not do that. He was more of a Bollywood character,
Yeah.
flamboyant, which I'm okay with. They switched it up a little bit. But what did you learn from Kingo? The
Well-
differentiate from the comic books and the movie?
Well, I like the portrayal of it. You know, he just loves life. You know, I like the idea of this guy, this charismatic, flamboyant, party guy. You know, I mean, with all these powers. As far as him in the comic book, I'm a sword guy. I collect swords. I thought they should have touched on that a little bit. I thought they kind of, I thought that was something that they sort of just cast aside in order to put this new spin on the character. I thought they should have at least referenced that, like the way he manifests cosmic energy. He held it almost like a
pistol, yeah.
like a pistol, and it's like, okay, well, do a melee weapon, do a sword.
His arm looked like he did it straight out of Compton. Have you noticed that when he was fighting the
Did he
deviant?
hold
He
it
was doing like the double guns and
holding it sideways. I mean, I don't know if that was on purpose or if he was just, hey, just do the.
He was comic relief, right?
He was,
he was
packing some serious heat. He was just straight.
Yeah.
Here we go.
He was double guns, bro. Here we go.
Yeah,
looking like Ironhide from Transformers. But no, overall, it was a fun character to watch.
Yeah,
he brought some calmness in the calamity that was going on in the movie. And overall, you nailed it on the dot. He loves life.
Yeah.
And then the vibrant colors that he displayed, like when he was talking about the movies, when they were filming.
Yeah.
Overall, he took you away from the seriousness of the show, and it just made you focus on, hey, you know what? There's no need to get all bummed out. But it was a fun display character. That what's that actor's name? We said it yesterday.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yes.
Yeah.
What other
How
movie?
close that was.
What movie was he? Another shows that he was in.
Dude, I don't even know.
And he was in fantastic shape for that movie.
Well, he got
for the Eternals.
There's a big deal about that.
He buffed up for that show.
He got super buff, but he was hired before he was buff, and they weren't expecting him because he was supposed to be comic relief, so they didn't want him to be
too
necessarily all.
Yeah.
And so
I think he was working at
There's a little
Genesis
bit
here.
of
in our hometown. He was working out after hours. He came
Yeah.
to Genesis and he was working out. Hey, I see what you were doing. I gotcha. We got you. You got good trainers there. All right, so let's go ahead and move on with Fastos. So Fastos is also has the same superhuman strength, cosmic energy, teleportation, and he has illusion generation. But what we know is he was one of the smartest guys on there. I mean, he just helped build the human race with their technology. But in the movies, they portrayed him a little different. Now, the way I'm going to say different is maybe through time given up on Earth. Then he found love and then he became a married man and had a kid and all that. But there was a difference from the comic book into the movie. So in the movie part, did you like how he was displayed, Jesse?
I did. He seemed like he cared a lot about, I don't know, I guess it'd be like your typical scientist trying to find a way to better, the human race, and they end up turning it into a weapon, and then he's like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I just made an atomic bomb, and that just didn't work out the way I wanted it to be.
Because after he did that in the movie, he was really, heartbroken. He was like, man, this is not what I signed on for.
Yeah, I think anytime a character, is like a guidance counselor or let's say a parent or whatever, they have expectations, with the people that they guide. And I kind of saw that, for me personally, I kind of saw that as like, oh, okay. Yeah, you have to, I saw the disappointment because, sometimes when I give my son something and I'm like, okay, you were supposed to wear that, and we see it on the floor,
Ooh.
So I kind of saw that, when I went, when they showed him crying after they detonated the nuclear bomb and stuff like that, because that goes back to Marvel's main theme with Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility, and I think they could have open that up with that. You know, they said this is. I don't know why Marvel doesn't put that on in more of their characters. You know, that shouldn't just be strictly a Spider-Man thing. You know, but from a narrative standpoint, I thought that would have been a great insert right there.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
because you could really tell in his, you could really tell in his facial features that he was really.
Yeah,
it was just like, oh wow.
his expressions when it came to that, it was like you almost like, oh man, because he really felt like
he was doing good, trying to
like
help
a
out.
father that you know his kids fell short of his expectations, you know, and then I believe it was like the character that we just referenced. It was a Zen Buddhist that told him, you know, the expectations often lead to misery. You know, in one of the comics, I can't remember which one it said. I apologize, but no, in that, they should have brought that up there. They should have inserted that there. I think that would have just made for much more of a more powerful moment for that character. You know,
How would it have been like Marquez if he was involved with Howard Stark and on helping them with their technology?
Yeah,
You see
that
that crossed my mind the other day. I was thinking, well, if these guys have been around and they're not supposed to get involved in human conflicts, Chris, what would have been different if they would have been involved from get go?
I mean, I think Disney would have its next What If episode. Ding ding.
Yeah.
The Watcher would see some new cool multiverses come into effect. I mean, they could have shut down a lot more threats. Probably had more knowledge of extraterrestrial threats than they currently have.
They would have been
and
better
are learning
prepared, basically.
yeah,
Kree invasions and
Exactly.
all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and this is going back to that. This is the way that we use technology. You know, that could have. I mean, technology changes things for us. It changes the way we evolve. You know, I mean, you think about how that character. This is why I think that would have made such a great show to go more in depth on that. I think there's so much to explore there with, you know, technology and how, you know, it changes our environment, and, you know, evolution tailors all things to their environment. So, you know, this should have been a show. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's my
I
only
agree.
criticism of the movie, by the way.
In which, duly noted, because we even discussed that. Imagine they would have broken it up, like we said yesterday in our other show. The Internals would have had more of a backstory that we could follow and expand it on a season.
Yeah.
And kind of just give everybody their little story, then get them together and keep going. I mean, there was no need for the rush, but I just felt that
Yeah.
Marvel was saying, hey, let's get these phases out. And I think they just were a little too eager to get it out.
I do
Yeah.
think that they're figuring out that idea of have a show, build the character, and then have a movie hit you with all the big Hollywood flash
Well, think of
with all the multiple characters that you've had series build, which I think they're kind of doing with this next phase with the Hawkeye deal, the Falcon Winter Soldier, the WandaVision, all these series they've had thus far, and the ones that are coming out. And I think the Eternals would have just been a perfect. I mean, they could have had 3 seasons of that and hit us with a great big movie at the end.
yeah
That would have been just
the Avengers, then the Eternals. You know,
Mhm.
because the Avengers, they had a build up with each individual character.
Or you could,
you
at
know.
the same time, be building the Avengers and have an Avengers and Eternals,
Wow,
team up movie that's
epic. You know.
galactic in scope. I mean,
That'd be colossal. But all right, so let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. We have Thena. Thena was portrayed by Angelina Jolie in this movie. Then we know that she has energy blast, flight, mind control, telepathy, telekinesis, and she was portrayed more like a Greek goddess in a sense.
Mhm.
She
Well, it's like a weapons master.
she's very
Yeah.
respected. She had little kind of issues going on in the
in
movie.
in some of the comics, she actually had a deal with the Olympians to portray the god. I think for Hera, I think she would portray them at times, like saving people and be like, "Oh, it was for Hera. I'm Hera, goddess of Olympia."
Mhm.
And so like they had a deal, a handshake deal between them. I believe it was with Thena.
Now we know in the comic books that she and Crow they have 2 kids together.
Mm.
Yes, so that's kind of like, okay, thank goodness they didn't display that in the movie. I thought that was going to
Yeah,
happen because
Which is rare for
Yeah, I
Eternals
thought
to
they
have
couldn't.
kids.
I thought they couldn't conceive.
Well,
Some of them
if
they
you follow
sometimes
the
they
comic
can't,
books,
but
if
yeah.
you follow the comic books,
Yeah,
you'll see it.
They're
So
called Nephiphites. They're not
Nephilim.
they're very close to Nephilim. Again,
Yeah.
the angels, demons
Yeah, that reference.
reference. But yeah, they're not as strong, or I mean, they're weaker versions of the two.
So based on the comic book, she's just she's think of like Xena warrior princess kind of. She's just fighter. She's out there fighting. She's hand to hand combat. Now in the movie, do you feel Angelina Jolie portrayed her pretty well?
She just. This is just my opinion. She seemed disinterested. I just got the feeling. Maybe that's just Angelina Jolie's face, but I just felt like she just didn't want to be there. She just had this look on her face, like, oh.
I was saying on the Silver Cosmos show when she was fighting the rocks that were coming down of the volcano. It was kind of like computer, actual computer, and then like when she was talking to everyone, hey, she had this kind of. She just got the paycheck. She had that Marlo Brando kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, sign the check. Here I am. Okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it just seemed. She just seemed just distant. I don't know. Maybe it was just been kind of cold and sterile when it came to her performance. Now, the fight scene, the action was great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like the fact that she could pull weapons out of thin air, and that's one way her cosmic powers manifest itself into melee weapons. But. Like I said,
she does give a deviants a run for their money. I mean, she can fight them. I mean, that's no doubt about it.
And I have to make this point. Okay, with the tech, with Festus being able to fix tech to the degree that he can, why couldn't he fix her mind? That was one of the things I kept wondering about. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. She can just go crazy to where she can't distinguish friend from foe. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert.
Isn't it a magical thing? Is that?
I forget what they
a
say
lot
that
of
she
people
actually
say
had.
magic is
It was
just science we don't understand.
There was a
but-
proper term for her illness, and
Latency, I think, or rampancy. No, rampancy. That's Halo. Sorry. No, it was it was something.
I forget what they call it.
I forgot. 'Cause you haven't seen the movie, but
I haven't seen.
Okay,
And she doesn't really have that in the comics that I'm aware of.
no.
So it's all right. It's all right. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like I said, follow
It just-
Marvel Universe and follow the fact that if you want to look, it's like an encyclopedia. You can go in there, type a character, and they have their biography. So when we need to do references, we can use that as well. So next up on the character, we have Gilgamesh. Now, Gilgamesh was a pretty cool character.
I like
He's
Gilgamesh.
got superhuman strength. He can regenerate, optic blast. Over in the movie side, they didn't give him enough justice. I just felt that he was just this big, broad dude punching everybody. Oh, I'm strong. And then when Crow got him, it was pretty simple.
Right.
So on that part, I was disappointed the way he was being displayed in the movie, which he was funny, but I just felt that they didn't give him enough justice. In the comic books, he's just a brute.
yeah,
I mean,
dude.
the guy is just a brute. He's
Unstoppable.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
the Deviants do not like him one bit. He is just a headache. He's kind of a mixture of Hulk, the Thing, and I don't know. Throw in another character, mix them into one. But
Century.
But there is a rumor, though. Again, we keep saying spoiler alerts. It'll be the last time I'm saying it because I've been saying it more than the show. Well, he was killed by Crow in this one, the Deviant. But there's a rumor that he made mention that he's going to be on in a couple more. He's signed on with some more Marvel movies. So there's an opportunity that no, he's not dead. Maybe not. We'll just have to see. But we'll see how the
there's always a
MCU.
loophole.
There's always a loophole.
I think it's goofy how he's, because in the movie, he was just like a tank.
Yeah.
But then the Crow was able to get him. I was just like, wait a minute, like this guy is like a powerhouse, and like how is?
Did you see those two punches he got him? And Crow was like, "Oh, that didn't hurt."
Oh yeah, I'm a badass here. Let me just wipe that off a little bit.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was hilarious.
But he was displayed well. I like the hiring of that actor for Gilgamesh. He did a good job. So now next up we have the Flash wannabe. No, I'm just joking. Okay, so the next character is Makiri. Well, that was
Makari?
Makari?
Yeah.
Now Makari is technically a guy in the comic
In the
books, but
comics,
in the
yes.
movies they made her into a girl. So we know she has accelerated healing. She's a speedster. She's also has teleportation, energy blast, and cosmic energy. Now in the movie, I felt again she was also a character that they didn't give her a lot of significance because she was hanging out in the ship for the whole time. She didn't involve with human race or anything like that, and she had a good relationship with a druid. But to me, it looked like Flash was out there. She was just fast.
Yeah.
She wasn't really doing much of nothing.
The original Flash.
Well,
Yeah.
she would technically be older than Flash if we were comparing. But
Yeah.
overall, there is cross references because the Flash came out in the comic books. Flash came out before her anyway.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that she's technically a rip off of Flash. I'm gonna stand by you, Flash. I'm gonna stand by you on this.
Yeah,
one.
and I appreciate that as a DC fan. You stand
I know, Marquez. You get
But-
sensitive. You get sensitive.
I was actually
Yes,
joking. Do you need a hug or
do.
something? Or?
Yeah, I probably will.
Okay.
But that being said, I did like the spectacle. I mean, the way that she used her speed, and I think out of all the Eternals, she's probably my favorite. I think I love the actress that plays her based on her work on The Walking Dead. It was just cool to watch, because I was not expecting her to use her speed to take on Icarus the way she did there at the end.
That was,
You know,
that was pretty cool.
I was actually rooting for her when I found out what the plan was. Like, whoa, yes, come on. I was on the edge of my seat, So, yeah, I mean, there are several speedsters in the DC universe that you could say, okay, are Flash ripoffs. You have Quicksilver, Speed Demon, a few obscure others, but I think Makari in the movie, the way she was portrayed, I did like it. I think I just liked the action that she did. She provided the spectacle.
So in the movie, I'm sorry, Marquez, to cut you off.
No,
real quick.
no, go ahead.
In
go
the
ahead.
movie, Jesse, do you remember? Okay, so when the Celestial, the judge, when he took Cersei and he took did he take her too? Because someone got left behind. We don't want to give it away yet. The other characters yet.
Okay.
But,
Given everything else.
no, not yet. We're trying to go with the flow here.
Oh, okay.
This guy, he's trying to rush like a
Characters.
relationship. Look at this guy. But okay, well, let's just do it like this. Forget it. We'll come back to that in a second. So
Okay,
the
no.
next up we have Sprite.
Yeah.
Not the drink, the character. All right. Over here, thirsty people over here.
That was another gender swap in the.
Yes, another.
Yeah.
But,
I don't really mind
But
it.
hold on,
It
Chris.
doesn't
Chris.
bother me at
Hold
all.
on. Technically, yes. Sprite was a man in the first one, but as the other volumes were coming out, they switched it back to a girl. And so the director said, hey, you know what? We're going to make her a girl to kind of blend in a little bit more of a difference there. So we know that Sprite, she has an energy blast. She's got telepathy, illusion casting, but she got stuck with something really unfortunate. I mean, a kid. She was in a kid's body for a long time and no opportunity to grow up and do the humanly things like as adults do too. So, but the thing is that in the movie, I felt she to me she seemed like a spoiled little kid, even though she's not supposed to be a kid. But it just came off that way. And then
Probably because she was fed up with life at that point. She was
hell
probably
yeah,
just
if you were a kid all day, I'd be a little frustrated
Yeah,
too.
she was probably just irritated. Like,
It's not about being a kid; it's being treated like a kid.
Yeah.
well, not
that's
being
what
able
I
to
was
fall in
thinking.
love.
Everybody that-
Yeah, the way people perceive you, when you're younger.
And then when you're trying to go shop, you have to go to the kids section.
I really like that. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it's for an adult. Never mind.
Yeah.
No driver's license.
Well, she could fly, can't she? Why would you?
Can't drink alcohol.
But overall, her character, yes, in the comic books, she is close to Icarus because she's in love with Icarus.
Yeah.
But Icarus is not giving her no play.
No.
That's
yeah, probably not, dude.
So she wrote that story. Icarus flew too close to the sun. That was her. I guess that was her narrative she wrote for him. I don't know why you would write that. You're in love with someone.
She was probably in love and hated him at the same time.
Yep.
so. But yeah, so overall in the movie, I did like the fact that she finally had a little backbone kind of thing going on, and she said, "You know what? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the human race." So I understand her point of view why she chose in the movie to side with Icarus and go against her family of the
Her
Eternals.
fellow Eternals.
So,
Yeah.
but now the thing is, Marquez, is that her going forward on the show, I want to see what's going to happen in the sequels. We all know there's going to be a sequel coming
Oh,
up.
of course.
But I just want to see where they're gonna take it. So next up we have Druig. So Druig also has flight.
Yeah.
He creates illusion generations. He has cosmic energy manipulation, energy blast, and mind control.
Yeah.
He's got So you better watch out. He's got mind control. So he was portrayed really well in the movie. He was an interesting character. I did like him in the movie.
Yeah.
I felt he was very dominant. He was not he was not bullied, and he was not intimidated. He just like, hey, I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at.
If you don't like it, then
in the
goodbye.
comic books, he's very hands on. He works a lot with Ajax and Phastos because they're mechanically, that's their thing.
Yeah.
So I think they did a good job portraying him in the movie.
Yeah.
Within the comic books.
Yeah, I wonder how. I always thought, like, when I see other mind control characters in Marvel, I always wonder how they scale up against Xavier. I mean, I can't help but compare them to Xavier, and I don't know if him and Xavier have ever crossed paths or anything in any comic.
No,
I don't think so. No.
But I'm gonna throw it out there for your answer on this. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Be good though.
The Eternals genetically helped the human race they built up on the human race.
Advance.
Now through the Celestials, of course.
Yeah.
Now, watch what I'm about to say. What if in this phases that we're going forward with this movie and going forward, we're going to see why the X-Men are mutants because of the genes, and then the crossing over, and that could be one thing, because remember, it's evolution in the comic books. There's an evolution going on. So,
in the comic books, a lot of the experiments that the Celestials did on the humans that created the Eternals and Deviants are also what led, in some iterations, what led to superpowers just being, and mutations specifically occurring throughout the human race.
and through my research, there too, Chris, I did find the Eternals has been involved with the Avengers. So they've been there. If you follow the comic books, they've been there. They've hung out. So
there's
that's
precedent.
yes. So
Yeah.
there's something going on there. So all right, let's go ahead and flip it over to the arch nemesis. You got to have the bad guys in the show. You can't always be good. So we want to summarize this really quick. So the Deviants, there's a big group. That can be another whole episode of a show. But we just wanted to focus on the primary. In the movie, they were just a bunch of monsters.
Yeah.
But in the comic books, they're just kind of the outsiders. But they're a strong group.
Yeah.
They are a brotherhood as well. So we're going to go ahead and focus on just the leader, and that is Crow. Now, Crow in this show, he's a shapeshifter.
Oh.
He's got superhuman strength. And also, through the Brotherhood, he ascended to the role of being the leader of the Deviants. Now, in the comic books, we know that they are the arch rivals to the Eternals because of the simple fact that these guys kind of got the raw end of the deal from the Celestials.
Yeah.
So they've rebelled. They've, gained knowledge and focusing overall, like, hey, we're going to take these guys out. So they're going at it. Now, he develops a relationship with Thena, and they end up having 2 kids together. So that messes everything up. So we'll go more in depth on that on a later show. But for now, I'm going to start this off with you, Jesse, real quick. With Crow, did you like how he was portrayed? Now, in the movie, he was portrayed by Bill Skarsgård. How do you say?
Bill Skarsgård?
Yes, Skarsgård. Yeah, we mentioned on the show that he also portrayed Pennywise the Clown in It. So
He did, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's who that was. Okay, I thought.
I thought he was pretty good. He seemed. I said you don't know a lot about him except for that you see him kind of evolve when he takes some powers of some of the Eternals,
Yeah.
and then I don't know, but he seemed like he was a decent character for the movie, even though I don't know a whole lot about Crow.
Yeah, I know. Me personally, I know a lot. I know a little bit about the deviants. It's they're just a form of their evolutionary offshoot, based on when the judge or ashram modified the human population.
Right.
That was
Well,
just
and
one of
they're-
the that was just one of the side effects to changing the surrounding population on Earth.
And they show up
It's-
in other things than just the Eternals in the comic book world.
Yeah, yeah, it's a gene. It's a genetic defect that just happens amongst the change.
So,
But
yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing with Crow. Crow in the movie, I liked how they were finally giving him a speech, being able to talk to understand why he was so upset with the Eternals. I like that. I just wish maybe the director would have changed it. Maybe had a couple animals in a couple human-like form. But maybe we might see that in the next
Like maybe
sequel.
they'll evolve.
Yes, because in the sequel, there's more deviants out there.
I would say traditionally in the comic books, the deviants are more. I mean, they're characters, they're people. They're not just like these monsters. Like they
Right.
Yeah.
they talk and think, and they all act somewhat independently. Even
Mm-hmm.
it's not a hive mind by any means. They are subjugated by the strongest most of the time. But
yeah, and I know Thanos. He in the comic book he carries the deviant gene. Yeah.
So pretty much we're going to see what's going to happen. I mean, I don't like the fact that he was a one and done. I hope they change it up a little bit. So let's, for a spoiler, finally, after we've been waiting for so long for the show. So people did see something in the end credits. We see the character Star Fox
Yes. Played
portrayed by Harry Styles.
from One Direct or formerly One Direction.
I like the guy. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah,
I like the guy. His music's pretty good. So hey, if you're hearing the show, Harry, you got a fan in me. Now, Pip, his friend that's with him, Pip,
the troll. Pip the troll. yeah.
He's portrayed by what's that? I've seen him in a couple.
Oswalt.
Mm-hmm. He's a good actor. I like him in the show too.
Yeah, he's
now,
funny.
Mystery Science Theater 3000. I think Patton Oswalt's doing that also.
Did he do the new?
Yeah, with Felicia Day.
Oh,
Yeah.
so tell me a little
He's in all
little
kinds
bit
of
about Star Fox.
Oh, he's the younger brother of Thanos. He's has the ability. Now, this is kind of cool to me. He's like Kilgrave from Jessica Jones. He basically has the power of suggestion. In fact, in the original Infinity Gauntlet comic book, which is loosely what the movie is based on, Thanos took away his mouth so he couldn't speak. You know, because he knew if he could speak, he could manipulate Thanos into getting rid of the gems and this and that, whatever. But no, he's an awesome character. Star Fox was an Avenger. You know, he's actually a really good one. He had a relationship with She-Hulk. And I'm sorry, I think...
of course, they're making that, so there could be some tie-in
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, but I can't wait to see how they portray him. I think just the whole flamboyant thing and stuff like that, he could be the whole, I want to say Robert Downey Jr. level of performance, but he could be the Iron Man that we've been looking for. Just because of the way when he showed up, I thought, is that Harry? It is, you know, and just the way there's so much you can do with his powers, you know, with powers like that, just the whole mind control, but the suggestion thing, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the character, really, honestly.
He portrayed it very well. In that part, I give him credit. I'm glad that Marvel, the studio, went somewhere different. So when you read the comic books of Star Fox, he portrays it well.
Yeah.
And so therefore I'm looking forward to that and seeing when they're out in the cosmos and figuring that out. So also at the end, if you stayed after the end credits, we see that Kit Harington, of course, aka the Black Knight, sees the ebony blade, the sword, and you heard that voice in the background.
Okay.
Now, for you guys, we're not going to say spoiler alert again, and I already said it. You knew who said the voice, right?
It was I don't remember the character, but
Chris
know
said the
who it
name the
was.
other day.
Mahershala
Ali. Oh, Blade?
Blade.
Yeah,
It is
Blade.
Blade.
It was Blade,
It has
yeah.
been confirmed that
Which I
it
know
was
they're
it
making
was
that.
Blade that
Really?
said that voice. So we don't know yet how Blade is going to be introduced, but it's already in the works that he already got the praises from, and he got the blessings from Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
to do
that
the
was
Blade.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
So he's debt free from the IRS, so there's no problem there. So he is good to go because if you're going to do Blade and it's Wesley Snipes, you gotta.
But still, I mean,
He needs to call Teresa over
Wesley
TV.
Snipes is still was a pretty good Blade.
Yeah, he was an excellent Blade.
I love the
the
think
first
Blade.
Blade was awesome.
Yeah, you cannot. I mean, if you're gonna redo Blade, you really have to go hard or go home.
Yeah, because I'm sure,
yeah,
man, he's probably getting old now. Wesley Snipes.
But hey,
Yeah,
he could play his Blade's teacher.
or something. Anything.
was it
Yeah,
Snipes
he
Whistler?
needs to make a
The
cameo, I
Replacements
think, in the
5
Blade
or whatever it
movie.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Expendables 5 wasn't he? In
Hey, I love the Expendables.
I
Come
know.
on.
Hey, that's why there's 5 of them.
Yes, yeah, right.
I think there was 3.
If you're slipping in your career, you're getting old. Come to the Expendables.
Yeah.
That's why they have Megan Fox, and it's going to be in Expendables 5. I was like,
What?
yikes. Yes, dude. I was like,
No,
wow.
there's
As
really
what?
5.
Megan Fox is going to be in the new Expendables movie for some reason.
She's going to be Chuck Norris's eye candy. Okay, anyways. All right, so let's bring it back. So we know already from the basis of the Eternal. So we gave to the audience, we gave you guys that. We know that the Celestials are cosmic entities that uses life form on the planets that they are. They use that time to grow. Then they destroy its own planet and it becomes its own celestial. That was based off the movie books. Now, for the first time, we see that the Eternals did not like how things were going. They rebelled. So now we're being introduced in the movies and, hey, how do we challenge or how do we go against these Celestials? So we get that. We know already that the Deviants are the arch nemesis of the Eternals, and we're going to look forward to seeing them more. So that is pretty much wraps up what the Eternals are.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, you guys. So please follow us on the other channels and also enter the contest for the tickets. Like we said, we have Spider-Man and the Matrix Resurrections that are coming up.
Definitely.
The next show of Silver Cosmo movie reviews, we will do Dune. So if you are a Dune fan, check us out. We're going to participate with Film and Page on YouTube. He's going to come in and do a partnership with us, and we're going to talk about Dune. So we're looking forward to that. And also follow us on Sports Fellas. And also we're going to introduce the show again of the Cutting Crew. And also, before we go, is there anything you want to say before we head out?
Well, thanks everyone for listening. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, just a shout out to family and friends taking a listen. And thanks to all the guys putting in the hard work to get this on the air. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to all you guys out there in interwebs lands. I appreciate you listening. And then thanks to the boys in the back. Thank you guys.
I want to say, of course, thank you to all the friends, the family. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it that we're here together to talk about what we like and just kind of get away from the normal days of life. And we come here to the studio and talk. So I appreciate each one of you guys. I appreciate being my friends and being somebody to express, our inner nerd self. Also, the people I want to thank behind the scenes, as always. You guys never go unnoticed. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Also, I want to thank to the audience and listeners, because we couldn't do it without you guys. I mean, I appreciate each one of you guys helping me out, giving us some insight, giving us opportunities to express what characters you like. And if you do have one, all you have to say is like and to subscribe on the comments below on YouTube, or approach any one of us and just tell us, if you're here in town, tell us, hey, I want you guys to talk about these people. So we'll have some more movie reviews coming up, but for now, stay tuned for the upcoming shows that are coming. So we're signing off.